Sha-la-la. Okay, here we go.
Okay. We're ready.
Okay, we are live again. Of course,
We're
the
back.
secret's out now, though, isn't it? The secret's out. Okay, we're just gonna have to wait for people to join us again because I think it must have given them a new window,
Yeah, there'll
possibly.
be a new chat room, won't there? So everybody
Yeah,
needs to come over to this one.
more than likely.
Hola, Davis. Hola.
Hi, Brandy, True Seeker, Dave S, Ripley versus Alien, Miss Dog Lover. I think she came on the last chat, didn't she, Miss Dog Lover?
She did. I
Yeah.
think that's Ripley versus Alien, Dad, not Alien.
Oh, did I say Alien? Alien.
I think you've just invented a new word.
Okay, see who the first person is then to guess who our guest is for tonight. Oh, someone's already got it. I think they've got Shine Like Shanann there. Okay, I don't think we'll waste any further time, do you, Phoebe? I don't think
I think we
this
need to get
person,
straight into it.
yeah,
Yeah,
they don't
let's
deserve to
invite
be
her
sat
in.
there. Definitely not. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the special guest, who, as I'm sure
She's on the
you
screen anyway, Dad.
you
Yeah.
exactly, yeah, I'm sure you'll recognise. So hello, Rebecca. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Fantastic. We made it in the end.
Yes,
Sorry about that.
finally.
Sorry about that.
All right, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. I can hear you. Can the chat? Can you hear Rebecca?
Hi, everybody. Oh, purple hearts. I love you guys so much.
That's what we need tonight. Lots of love.
Yes.
Lots of love.
Dispel this theory that
Oh,
we're a hate channel.
Yeah, we're
yeah.
really not nasty people, guys. We're really not.
No, absolutely not.
It's lovely to see everybody. Louise Brown,
Desiree,
Leslie.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Hi,
and
Dave.
I'm sure you already all know Rebecca Winter. For anyone who doesn't, you need to go and subscribe to her channel, Rebecca W, for sure. So yeah, Rebecca, we brought you on tonight. Thanks for coming on. It's amazing that you're coming on. We're chuffed to bits. And we were just chatting, weren't we? You were just we were just hoping if you could sort of describe your work and passion of being a victim's advocate, what you do and how you got involved in that.
Yes, guys. So, after 12 years of silent abuse, physical, mental, every abuse you can think of, including my life almost taken from me, um, 11 years later, after leaving that abusive situation, I empowered myself and started becoming a victim's advocate in 2012. So, empowering as much as I can by using my experience and helping victims. So, you know, there's a lot of work that goes into being a victim's advocate that others don't understand.
Yeah.
But, there's women that have to flee their homes from abuse and end up in group homes only to sign a contract. They can only stay a certain amount of time. They got to get a job. They have children. They don't have their own toys. They have chores. And then they're also tormented inside. They have PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, all kinds of issues. And yet they're expected to go get a job and move on with your life. And
So,
like, really? How does that work?
yeah, that sounds
It's
absolutely
not that
crazy.
easy. Yeah, it's not that easy. And so what started my YouTube was the horrific things that I seen and saying about a victim. Like, we can never, ever blame a victim. And it touched my heart, my soul, and I studied all of the evidence, discovery files, 1,960 pages, and said, what can I do? Because Shanann clearly was innocent. As a victim's advocate and fellow advocates, even ones that have written me, we can all agree that this was a case that we could not comprehend because we could not see any warning signs. The 6 weeks up into it, we seen all the warning signs. And so people don't understand that a victim of domestic violence can hide it so well. No one knows what goes on behind closed doors. They can hide it extremely well. They could get beat down at home and go to work with a smile on their face because that's what they can do. And so everyone has to understand all the aspects of this and know that we don't know what goes on behind these closed doors. And so seeing physical evidence for yourself those 6 weeks leads us all to say, wow, there's way more than that to the story. And it just tugged my heartstrings. She captured my heart, my soul, my everything. These babies captured my heart, my soul, my everything. And so, I had to advocate for her. And when Chris finally did his, what I'll say, a so-called confession, and I analyzed that confession, I caught him in so many freaking lies. It's like he's never going to tell the truth. He's never, ever going to tell the truth. And so it's a sad situation that he can't. And, this family captured my heart. And, it just kills me that other people can be so cruel in life. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you know, Shanann and the babies have captured the whole world's heart, really, haven't they? I mean, it's probably one of the biggest publicised, crimes that's ever been, really, across social media and stuff, hasn't it?
Yeah, because it doesn't fit the guideline. Okay, when a parent or a father or a husband kills a family, guys, this is called domestic violence. And everyone has to call it what it is. It's domestic violence. But it didn't fit the criteria as a victim's advocate. And for other victims advocates, we were confused because it wasn't fitting the criteria of what we know. But yet, as a victim myself, now a survivor, I can go back and say, you know what? I didn't fit that criteria either because I was very powerful when I went to work and I was just a manager at a store. I did the same thing. It was a lights, camera, action, and no one knew that I was a victim either. But for victims advocates that have gone through the whole complete licensed psychology, social work, for them, the books tell them, other things versus me, a survivor, I can state clearly that it is a lights, camera, action. Nobody understands how this works. And to speak up for victims, they don't speak out because they love this person until it's too late or until they almost take your life. And that's when you get out. And that's sad, but that's what happens. You are desperate to finally get out.
I mean, I suppose that's the crazy thing about it, isn't it? Is that he appeared so normal. I mean,
Oh yeah.
did you see, any signs before everything happened that, or when you first started looking at the case, did you see any signs that made you think, actually, yeah, I could see that? Or
Yes, absolutely. When I studied it, I seen a malignant narcissist. Everyone thinks, oh, he's so sweet, but he cared what everyone thought. This is what the atypical abuser does. They want everyone to think that they're sane, they're the good ones. Everybody else is the ones that have a problem. And it was clear to me by things he was stating to family members, to his own friends, about his own wife.
Mm.
Those are the things that a malignant narcissist does. And so they have a fake facade they live behind. And so it makes the victim always feel like she's the one that's crazy. And see, look at her. She's acting like she's nuts, you know? Like, but I'm the one that's all calm, cool, collect here, while the victim's the one looking like the crazy one here. Well, because they get you to that point of saying, please stop abusing me.
Mm.
It's like it's hard to explain it on it's so many aspects. But when I personally analyzed this case and watched the body language of Chris, I watched videos after videos after videos. What I look for is there a bond? I see a clear, strong bond with Shanann and those babies. And I see a bond with those babies with Shanann. Chris was almost, I could see the girls had a bond with him. I'm not going to lie. But I didn't see that he had one with them.
Mm.
It wasn't, um, there wasn't a bond that you guys, if everyone can follow what I'm saying, if you watch the videos, it's not like a sincere bond. Like, go and look at them. Look at Shanann, the way she holds those babies. That's a bond. Look at the way she looks into their eyes. Look at the way they look at their mommy. And, those are things that you look at because kids aren't able to articulate things. So we have to watch their body language. We have to really watch their body language. It tells you a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I particularly noticed in the last sort of 5 or 6 weeks, the footage that there was of that time, it was almost as if he totally detached himself from the
Oh,
family,
definitely.
almost like he'd
Definitely.
switched off a light.
Yeah.
Maybe he knew what he intended to do. I don't know, but there was definitely
Oh,
a huge
absolutely.
detachment there from his family for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He disassociated himself. And so he even stated on his own that, as long as he didn't see that he had a family anymore, and didn't see their pictures and everything else, then, he wasn't a husband. He wasn't a father, you know?
Mm.
So you guys got to understand how malignant narcissists work. They can do that. They can mold themselves almost like um, those one lizards. What are they called? That can
Chameleons.
get on a chameleon. Okay, they adapt to other situations. He cannot be himself, so he can only be other people. And he thought he could get away with this, and he thought no one's gonna think, oh, poor me, innocent Chris could do something like this. Nobody's gonna believe that,
Absolutely.
And I think he really believed it. He really believed it.
He did. I think, yeah, I think he just thought everyone was going to think he was a nice guy, a lovely
Hmm.
family guy. How could anyone, you know, even think of accusing me of doing it?
Exactly. And his arrogance, which is back to the malignant narcissist, the arrogance in him really believed it. Like, okay, say for instance, a person that's like him can go outside, they see a little tiny lizard. Well, they're gonna come back inside and say, oh my god, I seen an alligator and it just, tried to bite me and it's trying to come inside. Like, that's how their reality is. They believe the lies they tell. And so a person that believes the lies that they tell are very dangerous because they believe these lies. And that's where Chris is. He sickens me, like sickens me.
Mm.
You know, like, look, he lived a double life,
You did.
you
You
know,
did. Certainly in
complete
those
double
last,
life.
yeah, in those last 5 or 6 weeks, I think that was key, wasn't it? Those
Hmm.
6 weeks that you had alone. I think he obviously made his mind up in that time because I guess he had a real taste of what his other life that he wanted would be like.
Exactly. I see a comment right now, Connie. I wonder if those patches had something to do with it a little bit. Actually, I looked into those patches. I also seen discovery files and evidence. Those are vitamins, guys. You can go into the store and buy vitamin C packs and things like that. So absolutely not. Um, I would never believe that, not one bit. A person that is capable of doing what this man did, guys, he's showing you who he is. Believe him, okay? He is a murderer. He didn't care about his family. Who
No,
could do this to their family if you loved your family? Get a divorce.
exactly. I mean, there's no way. That's the thing. Nobody can comprehend. It's almost
Yeah.
like he's not human. He has no emotions at all. Um,
Yeah, and I think a lot of, and he doesn't, because malignant narcissists don't. They don't have empathy. They cannot feel other people's pain. They're not capable of that. He is what you call a typical abuser. This is what they do. They don't have feelings like that. Everything is your fault. You see what you made me do? He
mm,
even tried it in the newly confession,
yeah, I was going to ask
to
actually
try to
what you
do
thought of
that.
that. I was going to ask what you thought of the second confession. Um,
Oh, I caught him in so many lies. I analyzed that over 100 times. Just lies, 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 lies. Um, Unbelievable lies. Disgusting.
yeah.
And the way he can, and the thing, gosh, this man, Lord forgive me. I have like no respect for this man. I don't feel any type of remorse from him. I have literally seen and heard parents that said, "Oh my God, I effed up. I lost it. I lost it." They scream, they cry. I can't believe I did this to my family. This is what they do, guys. A person that really has remorse and says, "Oh my God, I lost it." They're going to feel those emotions. He, on the other hand, is incapable of emotions.
I was going to ask that
So,
actually. Yeah. How does he compare to, other abusers that you've seen in your work as an advocate? How does he, does he just stand out there on a whole different, um, you know,
no, because they're all like that. It seems like when you talk about an abuser, you're talking about one person, but a lot of survivors and victims can relate that they are all this way to society. Society sees them as, oh, they're normal type of people, you know. Now, if we just took the videos, we don't know the discovery file. We just took the videos and other people saying, yeah, there was a healthy marriage, everything else. Then you would look at it and go, oh my God, do I need to sleep with one eye open because I got a good husband here? You would look at it
okay,
and
bear
go,
me
oh
one
my
second. I'm
God.
just going to mute you 1 moment, okay?
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, just hold on 2 minutes. I'm just going to put you on mute, okay?
Me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, Rebecca, carry on.
It's okay. Yes, Sandy Blue. Narcissists are born that way. Absolutely. And it's hereditary. It's, you know, in your formative years of your life as a child, the very formative years, you learn certain behaviors. And, he cared so much about what other people thought of him. That's what abusers do. That's what they do. They want to seem like they're perfect, and the victim is crazy. She needs medication. Oh my God, she's bipolar. Oh my God, she's got issues. That's what they do.
Yeah, I
And
noticed that
actually,
yeah,
they're not. Victims aren't. You're not crazy. Your feelings are valid.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this sort of word narcissist, it sort of seems to be the word that, flying around at the moment, doesn't it? Is it a modern term or does it go back years and
It does.
years?
It's years, but a malignant narcissist, there's more to them. They're the ones that Chris, for instance, right? He fits the complete mold of the malignant narcissist. You can see it after what he did to his family. When he went on TV, national television, right there is a malignant narcissist. If you want to know the definition of one, right there, that's what you see.
hmm
That's
Okay,
how they are.
okay. I'm just gonna bring in this caller. She may have a question for you. I'm not sure. Hello,
Hello,
hello. Hi, who's this?
it's Daphne again.
Hello, Daphne again. How are you?
Hi there. I'm just changing the subject slightly tonight. I'm absolutely livid about the armchair detective having a psychic on tonight.
Oh, I didn't realise he had a psychic on tonight. I didn't realise.
Yeah, I'm just absolutely livid about it.
Okay, so
Livid.
what is he? What
Well,
angle
there's
is he
meant to be a
taking on
psychic
that
on
then?
tonight. Well, there's meant to be a psychic on tonight telling everyone that Shannon's been in contact with her.
Right. Okay.
It's just, I've reported it actually already because I think it's
Who
absolutely
is
disgusting.
who is this psychic?
A woman called Jade.
Jade.
Is she English or
Never.
American or?
I have no idea. It hasn't started yet. It's been advertised in it, but I think it's just absolutely disgusting and it's gone too far. It's gone too far, hasn't it?
Well, I mean,
Yes.
I have seen a few psychics now that have come onto YouTube and seem to be jumping onto this bandwagon of,
Oh,
I can channel through to Shanann, and I can tell you things about that Shanann's saying to me. I mean, that's very, very dodgy ground to be starting to do that,
yeah.
isn't it?
I'm sorry I had to cut him, but I'm just so really angry about it that I just don't know. It's going too far with everything, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm.
Absolutely. I mean,
So
there's a couple of channels actually that have been mentioned to us. I'm not going to mention them now, but
yeah.
I've been saying awful, awful things about Shanann. It's disgraceful.
Well, I suppose all the ghouls will be listening tonight, and I hope they're listening to me now because I think they're all disgusting, absolutely disgusting.
Yeah,
Really has affected me today listening to that. So I'm just gonna go to sleep and forget about it because them sort of things, you have to be very careful.
yeah. Don't let
And
things upset you too much.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just
Don't listen to it. Don't listen to it.
no, I'm not going to listen to it at all. But I just think the family should do something and just stop what's happening. You know?
Well, you guys got to understand this family is grieving. It's not even been a year
Yeah,
yet.
yeah,
And they're in a lot of pain. And
yeah,
so, we as people with hearts are the ones that
yeah.
have to stand up for them
That's right.
and
Yeah.
and be their voices for them and
Mhm.
fight for them because they're in so much pain and I wish people would just leave them alone. It's
Me
like,
too. Me too.
it breaks my heart and um
Mm.
it genuinely kills me.
I just
And
feel totally sick with it all, just really sick. And I know I shouldn't, get too involved, but this is really affecting me today. To do that. I mean,
well, because you're an empath, you have a lot of
mm,
empathy and you care, and the world needs more that really genuinely care, like that don't care about the stupid drama, like the drama of it
yeah,
all, but let's save lives, let's understand this and bring awareness to other
Yeah.
victims and like leave this family alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I just
Yeah.
want them to leave them alone, let them grieve, and
And I think, well, these so-called psychics as well need to stop it as well, because I know,
yeah,
a few things in them areas, and this is not right.
Exactly. It's not their
you
business,
know,
is it? It's not their
It's
business.
not right. It's just not right, and I feel totally. I just wanted to say that anyway. Sorry, I rang up and sort of butted in, but I'm hoping some of them are listening now. I want to tell them from me. I think they're totally disgusting, vile, absolutely vile behaviour,
Yeah, quite
and that's all I
agree.
want to say. Really.
mhm,
Okay, I'm going to go now. I'm
it
going to listen
is.
to. Yeah, I'm going to listen to you now and shut my mouth and yeah, carry on.
That's
Okay.
okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Daphne.
Okay then. All right. I'll speak to you again. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Bye.
I suppose it's, people say the family should get involved. It's so difficult for them, isn't it, to do that,
Yeah, it is,
really?
guys. It's like, you got to understand, they're fighting. Like, it's not like you just lost one family member, they lost 4. You know what I mean? Like, if you put yourself in their shoes and understand that, oh my God, like, guys, honestly, I'm a very strong person now, but it took me 20 years to get to where I am, to be like strong and not let things affect me. But I'll tell you right now, if I were in their shoes, you would have to sedate me and put me in a straitjacket and have me committed, because I wouldn't be able to handle this. And now add the social media platform of derogatory evilness coming out here stating these things about a victim that cannot defend herself. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And then unsolicited advice, telling a family what to do with their life. Like, don't tell them what to do with their life. They don't need you to tell them what to do with their life. Let
Exactly.
them do what they feel that they need to do with their life. And it's just so heartbreaking that it's like, come on, do you care? Do you have a heart? Do you have a soul?
Yeah. I mean,
What is wrong with people?
I suppose in a way they've had no control over it either, have they? It's been thrust out there onto YouTube, and it's just spread.
Yeah.
It's just completely spread, and they've had absolutely no say in it, no control over it whatsoever. It's so maybe
You know, it's heartbreaking, because when I see it, like these channels that do this, I don't even listen to them anymore, because I'm very emotionally invested in the case. I have been affected by it. And it breaks my heart. I don't even listen to these people anymore, because they're insignificant. Um that state these horrible things. Say what you want about me. I don't care. I don't care. But when it comes to victims, oh my God. Like, how could you do that? She cannot defend herself. And then you go and you say, oh, it's just opinions. Well, keep your opinions to yourself. You know what I mean? It's like, I go on facts. I don't like hearsay, like facts, like receipts, facts. And so when this person that's out there spreading all of these false accusations and slander, and I was the target too, but I don't care about that, like, because that doesn't bother me, because I know who I am. However, Shanann cannot defend herself. She can't. And I know that the world has a huge heart. And I know that all my subscribers that are subscribed to me have a huge heart. And we can definitely win, over this evil, this hatred, because I see a lot of comments that are aimed to me. One in particular wishing Chris a happy birthday to try to hurt me.
hmm
You know what? You're not hurting me. You're showing who you are. So you showed me who you are, so now I believe you. That's it. But it's so heartbreaking. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't understand it.
No, absolutely. Um, Phoebe, do you want to? Sorry, you've been muted there for about the last 20 minutes or so. Did you want to have your say, or have a? How, I know. How do you feel about what we've been discussing?
I'm fine. I've just been listening intently to what Rebecca has been saying, and thank you very much to Daphne for also calling in.
Yeah.
No, it's really, really interesting to hear Rebecca's point of view, and I myself am also a survivor of domestic violence.
Okay.
So I can definitely understand a lot of what, and can recognise a lot of what Rebecca, and there's a couple of our ladies in the chat who've also been talking about it as well. So
Sure.
I'm getting a little bit emotional here, but I think this is something that really, really needs to be talked about. It's not something that I've ever really sort of told many people about. And like Rebecca said, my family didn't know about it until it got to the point where I did almost lose my life.
Right.
But like Rebecca said, I had to get to that stage before I could do anything about it, But yeah, no, thank you, Rebecca, so much for raising all this with us. It definitely needs to be talked about.
And I don't think that's a link
Yeah,
that
it
any. Yeah.
does.
I don't think that's a link that anyone have really put together, have they? Kind of, the whole Chris Watts case with domestic abuse. I think that's kind of been overlooked in a way because it's been so horrific.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I think obviously it's been seen as murder and everything, which clearly it is. But there was obviously a lot more going on in the background so that anybody was aware of. And yeah, it is domestic violence at its absolute worst. And there's lots of women and men. It's not something, I'm sure Rebecca can back me up with this. It's not just women that go through domestic violence. Men, are
Absolutely.
abused as well. It's not solely linked to women, but yeah, it's something that definitely needs to be talked about. But you're right, Dad. It hasn't. I think the link hasn't really been highlighted up until now, maybe.
So, I mean, Rebecca, sort of, if you had any words of advice for sort of people in the chat and stuff like that, or anyone who's maybe got thoughts, about this, what would you say are the kind of initial signs to kind of look out for, and things like that when it comes to narcissism and stuff like that?
Well, first thing is know your self-worth. Like I always say, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, but can you look in the mirror and tell yourself you deserve better? It's like, it's not going to be easy to get out. It's not. But trust me, in the end, it will be worth it. And one day you'll look back and say, what the heck was I thinking? Like, what was I thinking? But it's not easy to get out because of financial situations. They have you in this, where you totally depend on them, or your family may not even be around. They're out of state. Just reach out and tell somebody. You have to speak out, and don't engage with the abuser, and don't ever get yourself in areas of the home where you're in a bathroom or you are pinned anywhere, and just know that you deserve better. Like, just know that you deserve better, and don't feel bad for having to go and speak out and go to the authorities. It's like, I remember my first time ever going out and speaking to the authorities, and my whole report, I kept saying, but I love him. But I love him. Why am I feeling so guilty? Why do I feel so bad that I'm doing this? Because we had kids together. And the first victim advocate that I had failed me. Like, she wasn't even listening to me. The second victim's advocate, she helped me, but the state failed me, and then the courts failed me. And so it's like an ongoing battle. But all I can say is that you deserve so much better. Life can be so beautiful, and know that you do not deserve to be called outside of your name. You don't deserve to be treated terribly. You deserve to live a life of happiness. You have that fundamental right to be happy. And don't ever make excuses for the abuser, because a lot of victims will protect the abuser.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is get but out of your vocabulary. I hear a lot of, but he does this for me, but I need him to do that. But. Once you're done with but in your vocabulary, you're ready to get out. Because everything they say goes in one ear and out the other, and you're done. But it's a process, and it's like, it's so easy, now that you're out of domestic violence, to say what a victim should do. It's so easy for us to say it. But to a victim, it's not. They're tormented, guys. They're torn down. They don't have empowerment. And so you slowly plant seeds and you empower them slowly. And a lot of times I like to call it relapse, and they go back to the abuser because of financial reasons. And, they don't like the circumstances of having to live with other people or being in group homes, and then their lives are almost taken from them, or their life is taken from them. And so download the Aspire app. If you are a victim right now in domestic violence, download Aspire. It's Aspire. It's an app that you can download on your phone. It looks like a weather app, a news app. But if you press a certain button in it, it's going to call 911. Make sure your phone is always on mute or low. And let 911 hear everything that's going on. The police will show up. This Aspire app can save your life.
Okay, there
So
you
all
go.
victims can save your life. But I seen a comment in the section saying something that I really feel like I should address. I'm going to go back really quick.
Yeah, no problem.
Hold on one second. If I can go back. It caught my eye. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Won't let me go back to. Okay, it was something about the Watts family.
Okay, let me have a look.
Okay.
Or maybe they can say it again. Whoever, what was it you caught again? Sorry, Rebecca.
Something about the Watts family and that they're victims too, and they're hurting.
Whoever wrote that, if they can just put that again. I'm just going to scroll back and see if I can find it.
Yes, absolutely, Lisa. Women who stay do because they know 100% their abuser will kill them if they do not leave. Absolutely. Do not ever let the abuser know that you have any plans to leave, because your life is in danger. They will kill you. I don't know how many times I can stress this enough. Never, ever let the abuser know what your plans are. Don't even share it with family members. They can manipulate your family members. Don't tell anybody your plans of leaving. Just do it very quietly. Some of your children you might not trust with that. Make sure that you also, with the children you do trust, you have a safety plan in place. I have a video about safety plans and how to get out safely.
Okay, I think I found the comment actually. I'll read it out to you, if that's okay. So it's
Okay.
Coral Day. she's asking, can we discuss the Watts as victims as well, please? So many throw them under the bus, but they are named victims by the court. They lost their
Okay,
daughter-in-law and grandchildren as well.
absolutely. They are noticed by the court of law as victims, and under the court of law, they are noticed as victims. Absolutely. And they are victims because they did lose their granddaughters. And so my condolences do go out to them also. What bothers me is that 2 times they went on national television bashing a victim, no longer able to defend themselves. The mother of their granddaughters, they bashed. And the second time when they went on national television, they bashed again after their son said, "Mom, I pled guilty for a reason." Okay, yeah, there's denial. No parent wants to believe this. It's denial.
Yeah.
But it's never okay to bash a victim. So the unfortunate criticism fell upon the Watts by everything they were stating about a victim, the mother of their grandchildren. And we have to be fair here. Like, that's not right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in my opinion, they certainly didn't sort of seem to, I don't know, just say the right things really.
Yeah.
When you kind of compare to how the Ruchet family reacted, to the whole thing afterwards, they were two polar opposites, weren't they, in the way they kind of dealt
Exactly.
with it.
Exactly. And keep in mind, guys, a lot of people think they know a lot. It's like, you don't know like everything when it comes to the Watts and stuff, okay? But yeah, they are victims, and I know they're in pain, unimaginable pain, absolutely. And I would never ever in my life say that they're not. They have to be. How everyone deals with it is their own way of coping and how they deal with it. My thing is don't ever bash a victim.
No,
It's
no.
not fair. You can't do that. It's not right. Everybody knows it's not right.
I think that's what we
It's
kind of stand up for, Phoebe, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
just not fair to do that, really. You know, particularly someone who's not around anymore.
Yeah, exactly. She's not
exactly.
around. She can't defend herself. She can't explain anything. Yeah.
And it's none of their
Yeah,
business.
she can't. She can't defend herself against this. It's like, it's one thing, but what got me is Shanann saying, I can't do this anymore. I can't fight this family alone. I can't fight my husband against his family. I can't do this alone. Like, you got to listen to her words,
I mean, she really
up
tried.
until
Sorry.
yes, and she did, guys. She did. She wanted her mother-in-law to accept her and love her, and who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Mm.
And you do really feel very alone, don't you, in your fight against it,
You do.
You feel
You
very, very
do,
isolated.
because everybody's attacking you. You feel like you're being attacked. You got to think about it. She's like desperate to save her marriage at that point. Then she's
Yeah.
under attack again of jabs, jabs, jabs. Everybody keeps giving you jabs, and when you're under these situations, it's like, you do feel like, God, I can't do it anymore. I can't fight this alone.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking because a lot of people go with hearsay, what other channels will say, and you don't know the whole thing. You don't understand the whole thing, and it just breaks my heart that other people don't understand it. And I don't wish any bad will on the Watts family, guys. I don't. That's not who I am. I want them to also mourn in peace, but I also want them to know that that wasn't fair. And I'm sure they know this now. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Um, And I'm sure they're going to have to live with that for the rest of their lives, that they did do that and they made a mistake, you
They
know.
did. Yeah. Yeah, they probably do regret some of the things that they've said and how they've acted, maybe, because they
Yeah.
have had a big backlash, haven't they? There's no doubt about that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like that infuriated a lot of people, and people that don't even know. Like when you watch that, it was like, what? Oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, oh my God, it's like you gotta love your grandchildren or your children more than you hate the other person, and you just gotta. It's like, guys, come on, it's just not fair. Like we
Yeah.
can't say that it's fair. It's not.
It's certainly a difficult situation, and I think it's such an extreme situation that unless you're in that circumstance, I don't think any of us would know exactly how we would react. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's well, it's not a position you'd wish on anyone, is it?
No.
So, do you want to stick around, Rebecca? You can stay on the panel if you like. We'll try and get some couple of people to ring in, maybe give them a chance to have a little chat,
Okay.
or you're welcome to stay on the panel. It's up to you.
Yeah, I can stay. I'm
Cool.
reading the
Oh, that'd be
comments
great.
too.
Yeah, does anybody have any questions for Rebecca while we have her undivided attention? Just pop any questions into the comments section. And I mean, Rebecca can see the comments as well, so she'll be able to see any questions or anything that
Yeah,
you'd like to say.
yeah,
It's
I'm
just
sure.
an amazing opportunity that we've all got to speak to Rebecca directly. I think she's raised a lot of really, really important issues and said some really valid things. So
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, someone's asked actually, which I thought would be brought up, if Rebecca's happy to talk about it, is what happened with yourself and Armchair Detective. Is that something you're happy just to brief summarize, or?
With Armchair is I don't have like any hate in my body, guys. I don't hate anybody. I'm hurt by him. He asked me if he could use my Vivint video, which I said he could. And I had gotten a couple of death threats, and I had said to him, emailed him, hey, AD, it's Rebecca, can you do me a favor and do this for me? The response I got back was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, I don't even know if I can repeat it, but, I got seriously bastards. And, I was like, oh, what? Like, it hurt me, it hurt me. And so I said back to him, AD, it's me, Rebecca, like, hello, I need you to do me this favor. And then, the response was, well, how do I do it? What is this timestamps? What do I do with it? I don't know how to do it. I'm like, well, I don't know how you do it on your part. You know what I mean? I'm trying to help myself because I was also, I got death threats. So I was like in a state of panic too,
Yeah, sure.
There was a rumor that I said I had death threats with anthrax in it. No, guys, I never ever said there was anthrax in any of the death threats. Okay. That's another rumor. We cannot listen to hearsay. Oh my God. But the way, that I was spoken to was like it just hurt me. It hurt my heart. And I spoke from the heart with AD. I'm not trying to hurt him. That AD, you hurt me. You hurt me. And
Yeah,
I didn't get an apology back. I still haven't got an email back saying I'm sorry I did that. you know. And then a lot of people attacked me and said, show the emails, prove it. And I said, well, you know, I could show you the emails, but it would only hurt him, and I'm not trying to hurt him. I'm trying to just say, hey, AD, you hurt me. And if you want, go back to him. And if he's honest, he'll tell you that he did say that and he's sorry. That's it. Then it's done. It's over. But none of that happened. You know, I'm not one to like try to hurt other people or bring other people down, guys. Understand this. It's like that's just not who I am. It's like when I say that my feelings got hurt, my feelings got hurt. You know, what do I gain by saying this?
Yeah.
You know,
So ultimately, I mean, you know, even just an apology from him would just
yeah,
help to sort of smooth it over.
yeah. Just you know, Rick, I'm sorry. I was having a rough day today, and you know, or you know, I felt I was being attacked today, and I took it out on you. Something. I'm very forgivable, guys. I'm like, you know, I forgive people easily, you know, and I'm trusting, you know, and I'm learning. I'm learning very quickly, you know. It's
And
gonna take time, but I'm learning.
yeah, and I mean, you're very I mean, you know, very kind in letting him borrow that footage really, because you know, you had quite an exclusive you know, video there really. I don't know of anyone else who's ever
Yeah,
produced
it's
that sort
almost
of one.
a million views. You know, because I couldn't understand studying the case and everything why no one was speaking about the Vivint footage and what the discovery files had. And I was saying, you know, it's clear why everything went down so fast, guys, is because of what they have. And Shanann is innocent. Like, hello, you know? And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to do a video doing this. And then when I did that, you know, I got a lot of hate, like of I'm going to call them sickos that came at me for it. And then the sickos said a lot of bad things. And I was like, oh, hell no. I'm not letting you do this to a victim. Mm-mm.
Why did you think they gave you that hate? I don't quite understand why they would have directed that hate.
Because they're the denial of believing that, you know, Chris was innocent, and that, you know, if we believe the denial, we don't have to face the pain of knowing that what's true, you know.
Yeah.
It's easier to live in denial, because then by living in denial, we don't have to face what has happened. What is the truth? What's the facts? You know?
Yeah, maybe some
And
people
so
just can't.
these exactly they came and they attacked me, you know, and it was like, okay. But I didn't realize, like, I see a lot of cruel things in the world already every day. But I didn't realize just how cruel YouTube could actually be, you know? And when I studied the case, and it was like, I go on facts, guys. Like, hearsay doesn't mean anything, it doesn't hold up in court. A judge will tell you, sit down. They don't want to hear it. It's hearsay, you know? And so facts are what you go on. And so no one was saying what really was all over the discovery files. Vivint. And I was like, why is no one talking about Vivint? I spotted every single sky control panel, motion detector, everything in that house. And I was going, oh my God, like, I know this equipment. I know it so well. And I know if I say her name, she's going to talk, but the Alexa, she's hooked to Vivint. And she also keeps her own record of audio. She's always listening. And it would shock you to see the things that she keeps a record of too, like Vivint, because it's a smart home, you know. But I don't understand the hate. I don't get it. It's like,
No,
you
like you
know,
say, I suppose it's people that just couldn't deal with what had happened, just couldn't accept what Chris Watts had done. I guess that's why they kind of took that side and vented their anger towards you because you were
Oh
proving
yeah.
them wrong, in a way.
Oh yeah. They came and attacked me. You could even hear on Chris's recent confession, a lot of things. I did videos on it. When they asked, Coder asked him, hey, is there any reason why you would feel uncomfortable telling us that the girls were already gone? Chris didn't say anything but, why? Do you have it on camera? Why would he say that? We have to think about those things. Why would he say that?
That's very true. Yeah, very true.
He's fed outside information too, he speaks with his parents every night. He's fed outside information.
Yeah, I think that's become quite clear, isn't it? That he is
Oh,
being fed stuff from social media and from his parents and family.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And also, what I found strange with the Vivint footage is it took them months to release the footage of Shanann arriving home, didn't it? It's almost like they had to dispel this myth that she had been drinking, so they decided to, why they couldn't release that earlier, I don't know.
It takes time. I know Vivint stores information for 3 months in the clouds, and then it recycles unless the homeowner decides to go ahead and send yourself that video to keep. Vivint will hold it in the clouds for 3 months. It takes time to do you know warrants and things like that, but it also is up to people releasing the information saying that it's okay, and also prove that Shanann was not intoxicated. And so what is the saddest part about all of that is what the family has to do. They have to prove all these things to other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
of what other people have to say, all these cruel things. You got to prove that your daughter wasn't intoxicated. A normal person would know, well, not a normal person, let me back that up. um, Forensic scientists and stuff, they know that those alcohol levels are because of certain things. When a victim is in, I hate getting into that because, the family, and I have so much respect for them.
Yeah, I know what you
But
mean. What
those,
was, yeah,
you know what I mean? Those alcohol levels were not because she was drunk. Like, get out of here with that. And it was to prove, you know what? She wasn't. There you go. You see it. But it's a shame that it had to come out, and that was shown, and it had to be shown. you know
yeah, that was the reason they brought that out, wasn't it? To
hmm
kill all of that, to kill all of that
yeah,
talk.
it's like, and everything. It's like, guys, you gotta understand, like, they can't even kiss their grandbabies goodbye. They couldn't even open the caskets. I mean, come on. Like, if I get emotional here, it's like
One,
this family's gone through so much, and they don't need, all these hate channels and stuff. Like, they don't need it. They're a wonderful family, God-fearing family that is truly amazing. And it's like that it goes with all this hearsay bullcrap. People that want drama on their channel because they think, oh, it's positive or negative, I'm getting the drama, I'm getting the views. That's what they want. They don't care about the cost of the drama.
no,
You know what I mean?
it's totally self motivated, isn't it?
Exactly. And it's like, and my channel's on a 501c, guys. I don't pocket anything. If I do tributes to Shanann and use artists, their music, of course they're going to run ads on that because the artist, that's how YouTube works. They want the money, and the artist will run the ads and stuff. Um, Everything I have on my channel is set up for a 501c, which goes to group homes, victims of domestic violence, because like I said, they only get a certain amount of time to live in the group homes. Then they're forced to go and get a job, having issues, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder. They have to, you know, they're on a timeline. They don't get to stay at a group home for, what anybody thinks, not like renting an apartment and being, on a lease. You only got a certain amount of time to get it together. And you really think these victims can get it together like that?
Sure, absolutely. I mean,
You know what I mean? That's impossible. And so, you know what? My channel, and I'm proud to say that my channel has paid for victims' rents 2 times, have paid for a victim her electric bill. I don't want them to go back in group homes. It's like, I don't, and it breaks my heart. Sorry if I get emotional.
it's okay. That's fine.
I
mean,
because
yeah,
they don't deserve it, guys. These kids don't even have toys. They have a toy box where they all got to share, and they know they got to take turns. Well, you were a kid. You know how it feels when you don't have your own toys. And say if you didn't have a lot growing up. I didn't have a lot growing up, and I do have a blessed life, and it keeps me very humble. And so, handing a kid their own toy and them like cherishing it. It could be the smallest little toy and they cherish it. That is just, oh my God, it warms my heart. And I'm so thankful that, that I'm in a position I can do that and that my channel can do that for these victims. Sorry, I'm getting emotional.
that's fine. But
But
I mean, that must be so rewarding in, by itself for you to be able to do that, you know.
yeah, it is. But it's also hard because they don't want to go back to the abuser, guys. And I don't want them to go back either because I know that he's going to kill him. And I tell them this all the time. Like, if you go back, he's going to kill you. And he is. And they will. It does happen.
I mean,
And
that must be an awful thought to know that or to have seen that happen.
it's
I can't
horrific.
imagine.
Horrific. And I'm supposed to, cut ties and and I can't do that, especially when I know that I don't want to call them victims anymore because a lot of them are subscribed to my channel, and I call them survivors. And because they survived this, they are survivors and they can survive and they can continue to survive. They do not need to go back. And so I want to empower, I want to save lives, and it's like if we all can just empower these women and victims and let them be heard. The biggest thing is they just want to be heard, you know
Sure.
and there's victims in so many aspects. It's not just domestic violence. There's victims, bullying and everything else. And I see there's victims on your channel. I see a lot of victims. They could be a victim to a psychic. They can be a victim. There's victims in so many different aspects.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. And I think, quite a few of our subscribers have, come under attack and stuff as well. Probably just because their association with us. I mean, we're just trying to.
J is for justice. Don't forget the Watts family are victims too. Absolutely. Absolutely. They are, guys. They are.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are.
Absolutely.
And, I've never said that they weren't, guys. You got to watch my videos and stuff. It's a lot of hearsay and stuff. Like, just watch my videos, like I'm not that cruel, like, people have said and stuff, like,
Yeah, it's
do I
easy.
like what Cindy and Ronnie stated? No, I'm going to be honest. I don't. No, I don't. you know, but I'm sure they don't like it either. I'm sure now they don't like what they said either,
No.
you know?
Yeah, I think it's just, as I say, it's just such an extreme, tragic circumstance. There's no winners anywhere, is there? You know, no one's coming out of this, you know, winning in any way, or it's just a tragedy all round,
No,
isn't it? It's just a tragedy all
it
round.
really is. It really is, guys.
Wow, got powerful stuff.
I'm sorry.
That's
No
okay.
need to be sorry, Rebecca. I was just sitting here listening to you, and it's so clear that you speak with so much passion and love and warmth. And, you know, I was thinking, I don't understand how anybody could hate you or send you nasty messages. You know, those two things in my head just don't go together, because you're very passionate about what you do. You're clearly a very loving, kind, caring lady. And yeah, so I think I'm just really proud that we've been able to have you on our channel. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that.
That's okay. That's just how I feel, having sat here for the last sort of hour listening to you. Apart from obviously what we've been talking about, it's been so clear to me how genuine you are, you know, and how loving you are to people that you don't even know, you know, and you haven't got any hate in your heart or any bad feelings towards anybody. You know, your views may be different to somebody else's, just like ours are, but you still very much care about everybody, you know, and that comes across so clearly when you speak. It's just so obvious to me what a lovely person.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it is.
Guys, it's just, you know, I just wish the world was a lot kinder. I seen Jay for Justice. Yes, you too were a victim. Absolutely, girl. Absolutely. Very, very vile. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we have to. I know Jay's trying to get in contact with us. We're gonna sort of speak with Jay and you know, find out about her story and what have you. So
Oh, yeah. But guys, all of you are amazing. And I've watched you guys, and I don't see, like, you know, I think you know, have a lot of humor and stuff. But, you know, Phoebe, I'm sorry you're a survivor, girl. And, you know, you've had your trials and tribulations too. And I think, you know, no one is perfect. We all have our story, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we learn from it, don't we? And we become stronger. Ultimately, I feel now I'm so much stronger than I ever was before
Absolutely.
all my bad stuff happened to me, you know. And I look back, and I sort of mentioned in the chat earlier, when it was happening to me, I became almost like a different person. I couldn't recognize myself as being me anymore. You know, I felt that I had been taken away from myself. You know, I just couldn't recognize myself as being me. I was just so, I don't know what the word is.
Because you weren't allowed to feel.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed to have emotions. You had
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
feel what he felt.
Yeah,
You
I wasn't
know?
allowed to have an opinion on anything.
Exactly.
Everything I did was not good enough or could have been better, or, you know, and it just really, really drags you down. And then you start believing it. You know, people say if you're told something often enough, you start believing it. And I did. I really did. And
You
I look,
do.
yeah. And I look back now at, you know, Phoebe back then, and I can't even recognize myself, you know, anymore. So I'm a different person now, for the better, you know, for the better, because I think you have to use whatever you can, whatever experience in life, you use that to your advantage to make you stronger, grow, you know, to grow as a person and have empathy for other people that you possibly didn't have before, you know. And yeah, and just learn from it, really. Okay.
Absolutely. And, you know, another thing, like if you want to grow mentally or emotionally, you have to let go of hate. Like you have
Yeah.
to let go of hate. And so people that have hate, like you're not gonna grow mentally or emotionally. And I think it also makes you become very resilient as a survivor. I'm sure you can look back and say now today, like, what the hell was I thinking? And you've become resilient to a lot of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you've already been at the low of the low, how a
Yeah.
person should be treated. It's like you've already been that. It's like,
Yeah, you can't go down any further. You're at rock
exactly.
bottom, and you can't go down any further. You just can't. And the only way is up.
Exactly.
You know, the only way is up. And you have to turn it into a positive. You just have to.
Yes, you do. And use your voice and help
Yeah.
other people, you know.
Yeah, definitely. It's not something that I really have spoken very much about. You know, even my family don't know all the ins and outs, everything that I went through, because I think, you know, you want to protect the ones that you love, and the ones that love
Exactly.
you want to protect them, and you know how much it will hurt them to know how much you've been hurt, as it would hurt us if we knew that somebody had been through all that. It really, really hurts so many people. So you protect everybody and you don't tell them. And also I guess I was embarrassed and I was ashamed, and I didn't want I just didn't want anybody to know, because I guess I felt like I was such a weak person, you know, and I knew that I wasn't, but ultimately that's how I was made to feel. And so yeah, you just keep it all to yourself, which is just a whole other issue in itself, isn't it? All that stuff kept inside you. There's so many different tangents to this situation, you know, so many sort of spin-off complications.
Someone's just asked a very poignant question, actually. How do you get the courage to leave?
Is that for me or
for either of you, I guess? Maybe for Rebecca.
Go ahead, Phoebe.
Oh gosh, I guess it was courage ultimately. I had to do a bit of it, like Rebecca was saying earlier on. If you're seriously going to leave, I couldn't tell anybody. I had to do a bit of a moonlight flit. I had to move home and everything. I really did. I don't know that I ever saw it as being courageous, but I guess it really, really is. You just have to dig deep, and I really need to think about what words I use here, because it's not something that I've ever really.
It's fine. I mean, if you're not comfortable talking about
it.
It's
not that I'm comfortable. I'm perfectly happy to discuss it, but I just want to make sure that I use the right words to convey, how I feel about it. So maybe Rebecca can talk, and I might just add a little bit extra at the end.
I think how you can relate it to other people that may not understand is when you have a headache, you have to take something, right? Have you ever had a really bad headache? Well, you need like a Tylenol or an Advil to take it, because God, the headache is just it's so hard now. It's blinding you, and so you take a Tylenol, and it's when you're finally ready to take that Tylenol, that's when you're ready to get out, is when they've caused you too much pain. Because let me tell you something, if you truly love someone, would you put a cigarette out on them? You wouldn't do that, would you?
No.
No way. Because you would never do anything to hurt someone, and so getting out, it's not easy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's extremely difficult, but there is help out there. You have to reach out. You can call 1-800-799-SAFE, and do a lot of things. What finally got me to get out is when he almost killed me.
Yeah, Rebecca, I was going to say the same thing. I almost lost my life, and I knew if I didn't get out, I knew that I knew ultimately what was what was going to
Oh
happen to
yeah.
me. And that
And
was
you
the
know,
driving.
I had a restraining order on him at the time, but I needed
Yep.
him a little bit financially. I had my own apartment, and I had my kids, and he comes over and just shows up at the house because they don't have boundaries, you know. I'm like, what are you doing? And I had just had foot surgery. And I'm like, what are you doing here? And my kids knew not to answer the door, but they were excited to see their dad too, and they were young. And he's like, you want to go get McDonald's? And my kids were like so excited, and I knew my gut instinct, because I'd already was out of it. You know, my gut said, you know, don't do it. And he's like, come on, let's go get McDonald's. Come on, Mom, let's go. And I said, no, you know, I don't want to. Go ahead, take the kids, get McDonald's. No, come on. Because they get you in that. That's what a malignant narcissist does. And I said to myself, well, it can't be that bad. So I didn't go with my gut. And my gut was telling me, don't get in this car. And I got into the car, hopping with my crutches. I had just had foot surgery. And as soon as we pull out of my apartment complex, he goes about 90 miles per hour down the road, screaming the most horrific things to me. My babies are in the back seat. I kept looking at them, and he's like, yeah, B, I got you out now from your apartment. No one can call the police now. You want to leave me? You don't love me? Then he gets me and my children on the other side of oncoming traffic with a semi coming toward us. And he says, I'm going to kill us all. All of us are going to die now. And I kept looking back at my babies, and they were so afraid. Like, sorry if I get emotional. They were so afraid. And I always thought that it was my fault, that I was, you know, because it was always, you see what you made me do. And I remember looking back at my kids and saying, God, if you can get us out of this, I'll never put them through this again. I never will, and I promise you I won't. And so I said to this abuser, because he's an abuser, I said, I love you. I love you. Okay, I won't leave you. I won't leave you. You can come back. Okay, I love you. Just please, please. And then he hurries up and gets over. And you know, there's other times when he tried to kill me, where he's tried to strangle me and everything else. But that's when I finally said, that's it. Like, that's it. I can't do it anymore. And then only for him to go on and abuse other women, because keep in mind, I was lost back then, is when I finally realized that, you know what? It was never me. It was never about me. It was always about him, because he's got the big court record of continually abusing women. I got the receipts to prove it. You know what I mean? So it was never about me. He continued to abuse other women.
Sure.
And so don't ever think that it's you, that it's your fault. And victims will do this. You will blame yourself. You will. And don't do that to yourself.
Sure. So sorry to interrupt at this point. We haven't quite got this format down to a T yet, but we've just got someone who's called in. Are you okay if we just bring them on?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello.
Hey.
Hi there. Who's calling, please?
Yeah, this is Paula.
Paula.
Yes.
From Thursday?
Yes. From where?
Were you who called Miss Marple, is it? Or?
No.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
no.
I thought her
This
name was
is me.
Paula as well. Sorry.
No.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Okay, so I'm Paula. I'm from the UK, and I've been listening to the chat this evening about, you know, exes and all that stuff. And what I wanted, I've just had to mute YouTube because
Yes,
of giving
sorry,
me
you'll need to
feedback.
do that, yeah.
But so what, my input is that I was in an abusive relationship for many, many, many years. And I'm not in it anymore and haven't been for the last 4 or 5. And I'm a lot happier, so just so everybody knows that. But just to let you know, it wasn't until I came out of the relationship. I was a very strong person before I went into it. And slowly over the years, that was chipped away from me. But, now I've had a few years to come out of it and look from the outside in, I have to take full responsibility for staying for as long as I did. And I don't think a lot of people do that. And I think they need to.
Absolutely. You just hit the nail on the head. It's because victims will say, well, he did this to me. He did that. But you have to take responsibility and say, you put yourself in that situation. But as a victim, they're not able to see it at the time, what we're trying to say. They're like, but he hit me. But we want to say, but you keep putting yourself in that situation. They don't understand it at the time, but they will. They'll get it later on. And that's when they learn to never get themselves in it again. And so you said something very powerful and important. Thank you so much.
Well, that's really nice of you to say. The thing that I would like to sort of get across to people is that I did realise he spat at me, he bit me, he punched me, he kicked me, and all of the other things that everybody else talks about. And I completely empathise because I've been there and I had children in that situation, 4 to be precise. And it was the most horrendous time I've ever gone through in my life. But let me tell you, deep down, I knew it was wrong. And I knew, even though I was right in the middle of it, that it was the worst thing I could do to stay in it. But the one thing that the authorities don't understand, and they say, these people are fearful of their other halves and that's why they go back. That is absolute rubbish. We're not fearful of them. We've just been trodden down over the years. And we go back because we love them. And that's what the authorities need to understand.
And you think you're going to change them?
We love them. Yes. Well, yes. And, and it wasn't until I was out of this situation, and it took a couple of years, let me tell you, that I realised that actually I should have done this a long time ago. And I'm a much better person for it. So that's all I'm going to say to the world. Get out, stay out.
Yeah, well said. Thank you, Paula. That's very
You're
true.
welcome.
I would completely agree with everything that you've said as well. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm going to have to go now because I've got things going on. But I want everybody to know that you can get out, you can stay out, and you will see a different picture once you're on the outside looking in.
Totally agree. And it does take years. It's not something that happens quickly. It doesn't,
overnight.
I mean, well, everybody's situation is unique to themselves and very different, but it does usually take, it takes years. It's not months, or it is years to completely heal, recover, and then look back and see. And yeah, I concur, I allowed it to happen. I did. So.
I've got a lot of regret. When I look at my children and I think I should have walked out of this a long time before. But you can't change the past. You can't go back. You can only, change the future. And I'm doing that, and I'm succeeding in that. So,
well done.
I just wish the authorities would understand that it's not fear that stops people from moving out. It's love.
Absolutely.
I think they've got wrong.
I was never fearful. I never. It does sound a bit.
Only in the end, you get towards when it escalates. That's when the fear starts with some victims. Some, can fight back and stuff, but some can't. Me, I never fought back for some reason, and because I don't know, I just never did. And so I was always in a state of fear. And so, especially toward the end, it escalated, and I knew it was escalating to the point of, this man is going to take me away from my children and my family, and I'm going to lose my life.
Yeah.
And this is where a lot of victims are when it escalates to that point. That's when you finally realize. And keep in mind, you're still vulnerable to them for a good 2 to 3 years after leaving. It's they got that hook and that bait, and they know how to cast it out to you, and you're vulnerable, because you do love them, and that's the whole whole point of it is, and you think you can change them, but they're never going to change. Never. They never change.
I think the most important thing here, it's not that you necessarily want to change the person, you want to change the situation. And I have to say, my ex was 6'4" and I'm about 5 foot nothing. And I'm the opposite to you in that I was brought up that you fight back, and I did fight back to my detriment. I'm not going to lie to that. But that's in my nature. And I did. But it takes a good 2 to 3 years after you've come out of the relationship to actually start to look inward and see what was really going on and understand it. Because the trouble is, they chip away at you. And I was a massively strong person before I met this guy. And it took 7 or 8 years for him to, sort of whittle me down into something. My whole family could not believe the person I became. I was always strong and outgoing and wouldn't put up with anything, and I became this sort of whittling wreck. So I completely understand where people are coming from. But, if you have to call the police on a domestic situation, which I did, they come out and they do all their things. They take the photos of the bruises and they do all the usual stuff. But what they don't understand is that you go back for love, not for fear. And they haven't comprehended that. They think that women go back, or men, if they're in a domestic situation with female, they think that people go back because they are fearful of their partner. They're wrong. It's because you love that partner. And I can't stress that enough. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's how it was for me.
Yeah, in some situations, because I work with a lot of survivors, you're right. And some of them, yes. And some, they are truly fearful. I mean, if I even were to raise my hand up, they're like jumping. And I'm saying, okay, and we're not allowed to touch anybody, right? As a victim's advocate, unless you ask them first, because that can cause them a trigger. You have your triggers and stuff. So some are so badly torn down emotionally, they don't even know who they are. That person has took everything from them. They have no self-esteem. They can't even put their hair up. They want to hide their face. And they're so beautiful. And I want them all to know that they're so beautiful. And you don't deserve it. Like, you don't deserve it. And life is so short that, like, to get out of it and to see, like, if people could see through my eyes what I see, like the beauty in every single survivor and victim and anyone that's ever had trials and tribulations in your life, know that you are so beautiful and you're so worthy of a life that's free of abuse and happiness, and you deserve it. You deserve
I agree
that.
I agree with absolutely everything that you're saying, and that is, the absolute truth of it. I would also like to say 4 years, 3 to 4 years, coming out of that situation, and it's taken me a long time of soul searching, a lot of thinking, a lot of, you can understand that I realise now that I am responsible for the years I remained in that situation. And so in order to heal, I have taken personal responsibility for the fact that I allowed that to go on for the amount of time that it did. And that has helped me to move on and go forward in my life. And 4 years later, I'm a very happy single person, enjoying my life, my job, my kids, you know, and I hope other people, if they can take a little bit of responsibility for themselves, will go on to do the same.
Yep, absolutely. And
Yeah.
that is so true. Once we
Yeah,
take the
definitely.
responsibility and know that, you know, we kept putting ourselves in that situation,
Yes.
that's when things can change. We have to also take the responsibility too. But it's hard for a victim to see that at the time.
I was just going to say, Rebecca, it's not, you can't see it when you're in the middle of that situation.
Yeah.
You just can't see it at the time. It's only, like you said, Paula, on reflection, all that years of soul searching, and then you finally somehow find some peace with yourself. And you're very right.
Because when you're absolutely in the throes of it, you can't see the wood for the trees.
No.
It's not until you go through the heartache of the final breakup, because let me tell you, in most situations like this, there are several breakups. But when you come to the final breakup, you go through a lot of pain and hurt, and you know, you've got your whole circle of people, your children, your family, your job, your house, everything else in your immediate circle to deal with. And it isn't until after you've dealt with all those issues that you start to look at yourself, and you start to look within yourself. And that's what I did over the last 4 years. And I just pray that other victims, because I was a victim, even though I admit that I could have been less of a victim, or how do I want to put this? I might not have been a victim for the amount of years that I was if I'd have realised, but you can't when you've got the whole of everyday life going on around you. You can't see what's hitting you in the face. So, you know, I just hope that other people can break away, sort out their immediate family, friends, work situations, and then look within themselves, because that's what I've done, and it's worked for me, and I completely have come out the other side, and I hope other people can do the same.
And see, you also bring hope to any victim right now that can hear this. You've brought hope to them.
Oh, I really hope so. I hope so. But look, I wish you all the very best of the evening. I hope other people take something from this. And I will speak to you guys soon.
Yeah, thanks very much for calling in.
Thank you, Paula.
No problem. Speak to you soon.
Bye-bye, love.
Bye.
Yeah, I think if we can save just one person from doing this, it's worth it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
And guys, you know, like, you realize too, like, this isn't just domestic violence. Like, I'm a victim's advocate against domestic violence, parental alienation, and child abuse. But when I got on YouTube, I seen a whole other aspects of victims. You know what I mean? That
absolutely, yeah,
are victims that, like, oh my gosh, and every victim wants to be heard. That is the biggest thing. They want to be heard. They want to be validated. They want to know that, no, you're not crazy. Your feelings are your feelings. You own them. You know, and I done a video, I Am Me. If anyone wants to watch it, and it'll help you. It's a poem, I Am Me. And it helps you get back your self-esteem, your identity, and it will take you years. It really will. I'm not gonna say that it won't. It took me about 20 years to get to where I am. I still have my self-doubts. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I still have my own, you know, I am my own worst critic. But it does bring hope. And I think your channel, you guys can articulate things so well, and can be very powerful voices for victims too. And it's amazing.
That's what we
And
hope.
Phoebe,
That's what we hope.
definitely, like, your story, like sharing your story brings hope. And that's the whole point of it all, is nobody speaks about domestic violence enough. And I don't know why they don't want to speak about it. You don't hear a lot about it until you hear something on TV where a family's gone, and it's like, let's save lives, let's empower.
Yeah. So someone's just asking in the chat though, actually, do you think there's any way that YouTube will ever stop the kind of slander and abuse against in particular, like the Ruchek family and other victims? I can't really ever
Well,
see it
what
stop.
can happen what can happen legally is they can get a cease and desist, for one. And also, people that do that, it tells you a lot about that person. You know what I mean? People that do that type of behavior, you're seeing that person, so believe them. And YouTube is like a very tricky, like, area. You know what I mean? That even the police don't know how to handle YouTube, the social media aspect of it.
No, it appears that
But
way.
there
Yeah.
is cyberbullying attorneys you can hire. Um, there's a lot of things you can do, but report it. Don't watch it. Like, don't give them any views, for your own sanity. If you're sensitive about it and you don't want to hear it, like other channels that I know do certain things, I don't listen to them. I don't hear nothing they say,
Best way.
because you know what I mean? You don't want to hear that vileness. It's vicious.
Yeah. Someone said YouTube is a bit of a mess at the moment. Like you say, the
Yeah.
police don't know how to get involved. YouTube don't seem to want to really do anything about it. It is a bit of a mess.
Well, because also, if you think about it, say there is a certain YouTuber that has a certain amount of subscribers and they're bringing in that ads, and this person, is valuable to them because they're here to make money. They're a billion-dollar corporation. So they're here to make money. So they are looking at it in another aspect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
They're not looking at it in a moral aspect of things. They're looking at it as, oh, moneymaker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Which is sad, really, isn't it? When you put that above
Yeah.
certain morals and things like that.
Okay.
Right, blimey, we've
So,
been going for 2.5
yeah, a
hours
long
or more.
time. Long time. I think
It's been interesting. I didn't think things like that certain things come up, don't they? And you know, didn't expect sort of you
definitely.
to share your story, Phoebe. And
I didn't expect to either, to be honest. But yeah, no, I was more than happy to. Like I said, it's not something I talk about a lot, but it is a little bit cathartic. I'm not sure how much yet, but I have found it a little bit cathartic to share my story a
yeah, I
little
think
bit.
Yeah. See, don't you feel empowered sharing your
Yeah,
story?
yeah, it is empowering. I think that's one of the messages that we'd like to get across. Like you said earlier, to empower men and women. I mean, I think
Yeah.
the first, somebody said a while ago, what gave you the courage to. I'm not sure what actually gave me the courage to leave, but the first thing I did was reach out to somebody. So I think, if I were to advise anybody, and I have no qualifications at all in this area, but I think one of the things I would say would be is definitely to reach out to somebody that you trust. And once I'd done that kind of got the ball rolling, and I didn't feel alone. I felt a little bit stronger, and we were able
Yeah.
to just take things one day at a time. And eventually, yeah, I got it. I mean, I did try more than once to get out. I knew I needed to, I tried a couple of times and failed miserably because it isn't easy. But yeah, reach out to somebody, I would say, in the first instance. So
Yeah, and I can
Yeah,
see it.
someone you trust. You know, make sure
absolutely,
it's someone you trust.
someone that you trust. Definitely. So
Yes.
great. Well, thank you so much, Rebecca, for joining us. I can't thank you enough. It's been great. It really has, and I hope that all our viewers have enjoyed listening to. Well, enjoy might not be the right word, but I found tonight's discussion interesting and insightful, maybe, and we may have helped one or two people. So thank you so much, Rebecca, for your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're welcome.
I've seen quite a few people in the chat sharing things, you know, about themselves. So it's good, you know, if it's been therapeutic for them.
Rebecca,
All the better.
sorry, Rebecca, I just need to tell you that True Helper says to say hello. Do you know True Helper?
Hi, True Helper.
They just asked me earlier if I would let you know that they say hello to you.
Oh, hello. I see all of you guys. You guys are amazing.
They are, aren't they? Really
yes,
amazing.
they are.
Oh yeah, she
They
said she's
really
a mod on your channel, True Helper.
Yep. Yep. She is my moderator.
Gotta have good mods.
Yes.
Definitely. Thank you very much again. So do you want to, should we wind it up, Dad, do you think?
Yeah, I've just seen somebody in the chat though who might be of interest. And if you can spot them, Outback Outlaw. I don't know whether he wanted to call in or not, or whether he wants to do it on another night.
I think maybe.
Just see.
Oh,
What,
I don't know. But
yeah, perhaps we'll get in contact with him and
yeah,
we'll do that on another night.
I think so. I mean, we've been going for 2.5 hours now.
Yeah, time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really
Time
does. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thanks so much, Rebecca, for coming on. It's been
you're so welcome.
It's been great to talk to you. We've talked a little bit outside of YouTube, but not on the phone. So I say it's always nice to hear someone's voice.
Yeah. And I love your guys' accents.
We love your accent. Of course, we're middle
guys,
class.
just keep doing what you're doing. You guys are amazing, good people.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so are you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Full Appreciation Society here.
I'm sure everyone's aware of your channel, but we'll put the link.
I've put the link in 3 or 4 times. I'll just pop it in again now, one final time.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to sub to Rebecca, and I encourage you to do so, then I'm just popping her link in right now. So
Yeah, and I'll put it in the video description as well. We'll pin a comment at the top.
Great.
So
Thank
there
you.
we go. There we go then. It's 11 o'clock here in the UK, so
That certainly is.
Guys.
That's been great. So yeah, thanks again, Rebecca. We'll wrap this up then. So to say, I hope everybody enjoyed it and found something positive out of it.
Definitely. Thank you everybody for joining us and staying with us, especially at the beginning, because we had to do like a double take. So thank you for bearing with us and back. So we really appreciate it. We are still learning. So we do have a few technical hiccups here and there. So, but we're really grateful that you've stuck with us. You've no idea how much it means to us. I think when you've got your own channel, obviously everybody with their own channel does know how much we appreciate our subs. But if you haven't got your own channel, it really, really, really does make a huge difference to us, and we are so thankful, and we just love you all. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, good night everyone, or good day wherever you are in the world.
Yeah. Good night. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks so much.
Bye, Rebecca.
Bye, Rebecca.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.